Hello, everybody. Let me make sure we straight on here. We got a last little minute. I was talking too much on the phone. Hopefully, y'all can hear me real quick before I start. Oh, snap. So, as y'all can see, I had another headpiece in. So, I hope everybody is enjoying a Friday Eve. As we are transitioning back. Had a meeting today. Financial Aid Friday is on the way. Financial Aid Friday is on the way. Can't get no better than that. Hold on, I feel like I'm about to. All right, Financial Aid Friday is on the way. Had that meeting today. That kind of rhymes. Financial Aid Friday is on the way. Had a meeting today. I don't know. I think I'm gonna rap for y'all one time. Not tonight, y'all. Not soon. I had to be like really like like you gotta have the views, So, but everybody's a rapper, right? I feel like I can just crash their Billboard rankings one time. So they said we are live streaming. Let me check LinkedIn real quick. Yes, we are live on LinkedIn. Our post is generating a little bit. We generating some impressions a little bit. We gotta get ourselves out there. I think people on LinkedIn right now. We're slowly going down though with our impressions on LinkedIn. I think some people are really not like interacting with us, but it's cool. It's cool. So we got some things to talk about. AI in Ohio State University, Indiana with the X. Change is coming. I think I spelled Indiana right. I think. Like I said, I was in a hurry a little bit. So and yeah, let's get our disclaimer up and make sure to hydrate. Let's get our disclaimer up and then we just get to talking. Like this is what it's about, informing you how to start at a 2-year bridge to a 4-year. Saves you $10,000 and more, especially when you stay, especially when you stay off campus and don't get a meal plan. Got to put that in the beginning, let you know, so that you can save as much money as you can in college. That is the goal. Treat me like Ricky Smiley. Treat me like you Steve Harvey. Treat me like your morning show, because I am your night show right now. I am your night show. Let me see. So I have not forgotten y'all. I just been having all kinds of internet issues today. Like I had problems with Wi-Fi today. I had problems with my phone. I'm on T-Mobile, had like a power outage or something. It's crazy. So disclaimer. Remember that this is for informational purposes only, and you should do your own research and consult with a specialist at the institution you're interested in. I am not a financial aid specialist, academic advisor, or representing any institution when we are talking about the topics we are talking about. We are obviously stating our opinion. We are stating some facts, of course, when we have the information in front of us. So I do want you to make sure you make the best informed decision that's best for you and your family when you're going to college. Because remember, college is an investment. If I'm spitting a little bit, remember, college is an investment. College is one of the biggest investments, if not the biggest investment you're going to make in your life. It's one of the best things you could do for yourself, because going to college has showed me that the ultimate freedom in life is really knowing how much you want, to be comfortable with and retire with, and always having an exit strategy, contingency plan, and strategically doing things. But strategically doing things, when you hear that word, is not like one from step 1 to step 100. You got 100 steps on how to be strategic. Sometimes it's just 3 steps. Like when somebody made the sport of baseball, they was like, okay, we'll have a home, first, second, third. Then they started probably like as they added on, it's kind of like we need to expand this a bit. And then, it just kept adding on to it. Just a simple game, same routine. And I take a lot of things from sports real quick before we get started, because sports is the same thing. It's very simple to play the sport. You just have to learn how to play the sport. It's a very simple thing, and you keep doing it until people catch on like this, until people catch on, and then it becomes a thing. And, I love that. All right. So, all right, AI in Ohio State. It's happening. It's happening. It's definitely happening. This AI is not going away, at least in higher ed. But first things first, I have a video that I'm going to put over here. I have the topic, but I'm going to put the video up because I like showing you guys things. And what's that? I like showing you guys things because I share my screen, so I'm not going to just talk with me on the camera. We did that. We did that. We put money into the business now. And so we are at a place now. We are, we don't have to prompt our phones up in case somebody called me. I like when people call me during the live screen. Makes me feel like, I'm in the studio, bro, so. So that's something we finna watch with this. It's gonna be 9 minutes, and I can't wait to watch it because with you guys, it feels more engaging to talk about college and better than reading it in the book. Like that's probably gonna be me at work tomorrow. I started reading this book that I got from my supervisor / mentor at my job. And so just upping my higher education skills, upping up my financial skills, and just being a better person every day, man. That's all you can do in life. And so, and you get some life development out of this too. Like, that's that was my major, like literally human development. That was my major in college. So I really understand how to be, not know, I said understand. I really understand how to be a better human. And so this is how you become a better human, through education. That's my perspective. It could be through financial, it could be through other lenses, but ultimately the best way to become a better human is education. Because you look at a lot of great leaders, they have education as a background. Do not let that fool you. Do not let that fool you. We were, in some cases back in the day, smarter, a lot more intelligent, supposedly. Because today we just have so many things that we scroll on social media. We are confident. We're more consumers. And, we need a lot more when a lot of these things we can do it ourselves, but we don't. So getting to that topic, I'm just organizing my tab real quick. I think the Ohio State one is on let me see. Ohio. All right. No, it's not on that one. I don't think I grabbed nothing from that article. All right. So Ravi, who is I think do I got him up here? No, he is up here. So this person that y'all see right now, Ravi V. Bella Macona. I'm gonna learn how to pronounce his name. I know I butchered it a little bit. Let me see if I can get a pronunciation. Yeah, thank you. That's really helpful. How to pronounce that? You gave me a button to press.
Bellankonda.
Balonkonda.
Bellankonda.
Balonkonda.
Bellankonda.
Balonkonda.
Bellankonda.
Balokanda. So President Ravi Balokanda is the president of Ohio State University. Why am I showing you this? Because, well, he was a biomedical engineer, which is a very supposedly tough major. But I feel like all majors are tough, by the way. I feel like if that major was for you and it intrigues you, I feel like you could do any major in college, by the way. But he is the president of he's the president of the United States. He is the president of the Ohio State University. If you wonder how much he makes, stay tuned. So, President Ravi has become a leading face of AI for all students. Ohio State University's provost champions the Ohio State University's provost champions the institution's AI fluency initiative, intended to make every student not only knows their field of study, but AI's applications in that field. And so, and I'm going to change something real quick with these titles. I'm going to call it of course. So I think I changed it on YouTube, but let's see. I'm switching the tabs for y'all right now. And so, yeah, AI's applications in the field. So now we're going to watch a video, of course. This was what I found when I went to it, but it's about how artificial intelligence is reshaping college for students and professors. And it's something that we should know, because if you don't know about the trends that's going on in higher ed right now, you could pick the wrong major in college essentially right now. And that could set you up for a really hard downfall in the future. Like I said, myself, I am learning AI. Luckily, I have a job still. Luckily, a typical regular day job, which is great right now, because nobody is a real current leader on AI. It's like up for the grabs. And so a lot of people are making a great deal of money off of it, but some of this stuff might be a flop in the future. But it's definitely gonna be around, but so many variables, right? So this is from a higher ed perspective. I'm gonna shut up and let them cook. And then
For 25 years,
and we get an
Consumer
advertisement.
Cellular's goal has been to provide wireless.
Pause. Wait a minute. How we get an advertisement? Then they took us to see what I'm dealing with, y'all? See what I'm dealing with? Then they want to sue me or like, no, nobody want to use this. This is what I be talking about. Just minding my business, and now we're into advertisement. PBS. You got to make your money somehow, PBS. I get it. You got to make your money somehow. So, here we go.
The country is the first. This year's senior class at universities across the country is the first to have spent nearly its entire college career in the age of generative AI, a type of artificial intelligence that can create new content like text and images. As the technology improves, it's harder to distinguish from human work, and it's shaking academia to its core with some very big questions. Special correspondent Fred DeSam Lazaro has the story for our series, Rethinking College.
And the principle of humanities says, treat all people as ends in themselves, never merely as means.
About 2 years ago, Megan Fritz, a philosophy professor at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock, began spotting something unusual about her students' writing.
You suddenly get an essay or a test answer, some kind of assignment from a student whose normal writing you're familiar with, and you get something back that sort of sounds like an official business document or a piece of technical writing that sounds very highly polished, but very impersonal.
Impersonal because it likely wasn't written by a person. This was the beginning of a turning point for higher ed, as generative AI had swept through not only her campus, but college campuses across the country. A survey last year found that 86% of college students are now using AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude AI, and Google Gemini for schoolwork. The reason generative AI has spread so quickly on college campuses is not hard to understand. It's transformed tasks that used to take hours, even days of writing and revision, into something that can be done in mere minutes. For example, I can ask ChatGPT, write me a 1,000-word essay on the topic of, is it okay to lie? And using a massive amount of data, it predicts and generates sentences on this topic instantly. Fritz says the impact has been deeply disruptive.
If I'm reading the writings of ChatGPT, and instead of my students, I have lost the very best tool that I have to see if I am being effective in my capacity as an instructor or not.
We really need a framework in which people can use these things and innovate while minimizing the risk.
University policymakers have scrambled to stay ahead.
I think the realization over the past year and a half is the technology is outpacing our ability to detect it.
Vice Provost of Research Brian Berry leads one of UA Little Rock's committees tasked with creating clear campus-wide policies on AI.
I think it really comes down to us helping students understand what's at risk, helping them understand that if they use AI in the right way, it's literally the most powerful tool that they've ever been able to use, and it will make huge differences. But if they use it in the wrong way, it could short-circuit their learning process.
The university is finalizing a policy that lets professors determine what AI use is acceptable in their classrooms as long as they clearly outline it in their syllabus. But for Fritz, who has a strict no AI policy, identifying it has been complicated and time-consuming.
So Phrasely is one of the softwares that I use. If I suspect AI use, then the first thing I do is I do use detection softwares. I actually use 8 different detection softwares.
If her suspicion is confirmed, she does meet with the student.
And if they can talk about the thing that they wrote about, then great. But a lot of times they can't.
Sounds like it's tedious and a lot more work for professors like yourself.
It certainly cuts into my life quite a bit. It at least has sometimes made teaching feel like policing.
And these detection methods are not foolproof. Students online say that they're caught in the middle.
I've been falsely accused by my university of using AI to write a paper.
My final paper got detected as 60% AI.
We might be about to find out if I'm going to falsely get kicked out of college for...
Ashley Dunn was a senior at Louisiana State University when she was accused of using AI to write a short essay for a British literature class after a detection tool flagged her writing last year.
And I was like, am I going to fail this class? Am I going to get a 0? Every college takes plagiarism and that kind of thing very seriously. So I was just freaking out.
After communicating with her professor, Dunn says she was eventually given an A for the assignment, but the response to her on TikTok proves that this is a widespread issue.
A lot of people ended up making responses to my video, pretty much saying that they had gone through the same thing, but that they didn't really get as lucky and they ended up either getting 0s or failing the class. Some people recently have been making videos about, oh, my professor said that my essay was AI because I used an M dash, but that's just a regular way of writing, especially for a college level.
You're going to be asked to go out and venture into Gen AI?
Not all schools are anti-AI. Some are actually looking for ways to embrace it. Lori Kendall teaches an entrepreneurship class in the Fisher College of Business at The Ohio State University.
When Gen AI came out, I and every other instructor did, oh, great, now what? Do we allow AI? Do we not allow AI? And the reality is, you know what? They're going to use it anyway.
She now encourages her students to use AI to critically examine their original work and as a learning aid.
A lot of people, might use AI just to get assignments done, plagiarism, but I like to use AI just for a deeper understanding.
Rachel Gervais is a first-year student majoring in air transportation.
I oftentimes use AI to create questions regarding this topic so I not only get a better understanding of the actual material, but I also can test and see what I need to maybe focus on even more.
If you don't use AI or the next technology that comes along to be more effective, you're not going to be competitive in the job market. The job market's changing right underneath your feet.
As the chief academic officer, I get to decide on academic integrity issues, honor code, and violations.
Ravi Belankonda is executive vice president and provost at Ohio State University. He says he was struck by one alleged violation last year, a student accused of using AI. It was a case of cheating, he says, but it made him think.
What if there existed technology that indeed lets our students produce work of very high quality. Shouldn't we investigate this a little further?
Balaam Konda spearheaded Ohio State's new AI Fluency Initiative, which requires all undergraduate students across academic disciplines learn and use AI tools.
The trick is to figure out, like any human interaction with technology, what can we offload to technology and what do we need to add the value to? Ohio State wants to be at the front of that creation of those rules.
That's prompted experimentation across the disciplines, like music professor Tina Talent's AI and Music class, which explores innovative uses of the technology.
I always start the class by asking them to think about a challenge in their field. At that point, we're not even talking about AI. I just want them to identify something that either they've run up against or that their students or their colleagues have.
One member of her class, tuba instructor and doctoral student Will Resch, is using AI to analyze airflow into his instrument over thousands of repetitions. The data will help guide students on how to play the perfect note. Another, Natalia Moreno Buitrago, is a music education grad student studying how babies acquire musical knowledge. She used to spend hours combing through home recordings of research subjects, listening for moments when parents or caregivers sing or hum around the infant. Now AI does this for her.
If we critically examine the tools that we're engaging with and are actively involved in the development of them, I think we can do some pretty incredible things.
But inevitably, these tools also bring major disruption to academia and to the jobs students hope to someday fill.
How do we go through a transformative moment like this with the disruptions that it is going to cause, and yet do this in a way that ultimately is additive to us as a society, that it improves our lot as human beings?
A question without a clear answer, he says, but one that students should help tackle. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Fred DeSam Lazaro in Columbus, Ohio.
So as you can see right there, they say 70% of college administrators and faculty worry AI will reduce the perceived value of a degree. And that's what they finished the video off with. Great video. I was engaged the whole time, listening while writing notes. And I got some highlights from my perspective. Live reaction. I love live reactions because y'all live react these music videos. Y'all live react this drama about somebody else's life. But we're going to live react why you should understand the value of your college degree and understand why you should be in this college classroom. Because as you can see, they in tune. They look at these college classrooms and who they feel with. And so you need to understand, like, this is where it goes down first. Before anything ever hits the real world, it's going to get experimented on you. For one, it's going to be free to you, like they're doing now with open, like ChatGPT and all that. Then they're going to give it to the schoolhouse to research. You need somebody to research this data and see what's the side effects of using it. Are you still critically thinking? Are you getting more intelligent? Are you getting, honestly, more dumber? Then it's going to go to the military. Then it's going, this is just my personal opinion, but it's going to go to the military. Is it effective for the military? Does it streamline things? Does it make it more efficient? Experimenting. There's no clear winner. And so if you're not really trying to be intact with it, you get left behind. Kind of just like when the internet came and then cell phones advanced, technology started advancing. You get left behind when you don't keep up with the newest thing that you think is frankly a joke. And so what stood out to me, not in no particular order, was when the professor was like, when the student was like, I go to AI for deeper learning with AI, that stood out to me because I know it's a lot of things when I don't understand something in the stock market, for example, because I'm not a stock market whiz. I'm a constant learner, but I'm not like a wizard compared to other people. And one thing I learned with AI is that it breaks down complicated terms when I'm reading books on it, and it puts it in simple terms. And I can go on a whole rabbit hole of asking the right questions. And that's why I tell people why you still have to read books when you're using AI. Because if you don't know how to ask the question to AI, you could be wrong on the information that you're getting from AI. Similar to Google searching. If you don't know what you're Googling and how to Google it properly, you're going down the wrong rabbit hole. Sort of like when we're in college and we're writing papers, right? If I'm not asking the right questions when I'm doing research, then my research paper can be completely wrong. It can be off-putting and completely wrong. So that's the thing with AI. You have to know how to ask the question to AI. Know if AI is giving you bad information. That's where the training comes in with AI. AI gets things wrong consistently. So you have to be like, that's not right. You won't believe how many people told me that, like, oh, AI could do your job. I don't know why you still talking about higher education and how it can save kids money. I can go to AI and ask. Try to ask AI what I do and include all the variables. You got to know the variables of what's going to happen. AI going to be like, you didn't ask me that. You asked me this. So you still, in a way, don't need me because nobody needs anybody, really. But in a way, if you want to make sure you're going the right way, saving money in college and how to go about it properly, this is why I say it's important to know what you want to do your freshman year. I don't think it's possible to know what I want to do. No, you're right. It's not possible to know what you want to do your freshman year in high school. Let me clear that up. It's like you're going to change your major before you, like, people change their majors while they're in college. But you want to have an idea of what school you want to go to and then worry about the major. See, now we're getting on a deeper thinking, right? Because schools all have the same, I bit my tongue a little bit. Schools all have the same major a little bit. Like, unless you go to, like, I guess, that's when you start learning, like, if I want to go to school, like agriculture schools, land grant schools, right? Those schools most likely are going to have, like, agriculture programs. But deep down, I'm not going to leave agriculture, but I might want to do something different within agriculture. I might want to go from doing agriculture with my hands to doing the technology side of agriculture and building technology tools that can help plants live longer, just for example. So you're going to be in agriculture. So you need to know, like, oh, I'm going to be in business regardless. But what type of business do I want to do? What's my, like, where I could end up? So now you don't have to worry about changing schools as much and getting trapped at a school, because you can always go to another school that hopefully take your credits, but we don't want to get trapped. We want to be like, okay, they have all these business programs. Some schools only have 2 business programs. Some schools have, like, multiple business programs, like 10 or 20, like, different types under the umbrella. So that put me on a rant. But the deeper learning, though, because that young lady had mentioned that some people use AI for plagiarism, but I use AI for learning, like, which is good. And then I love that the professor was like, what are they going to do? Okay, you say, she was like, okay, so what? Students are going to use AI. So are we going to let them? She was already thinking, like, all right, like a real professor, are we going to let them use it? Are we not going to let them use it? What are we going to do? Then it came down to the conclusion, they're going to use it anyway. Like, come on, guys. So they're going to use it anyway. And then she was like, I think they should. Honestly, I think we should be able to use AI in college. My school wasn't really, my program wasn't too crazy on it because I felt like my professor knew we was using it, but we write papers. And I wanted to make sure I was going to be the best I can be when I started live streaming to you all. And I just didn't feel the reward. And I did use AI if my professor is watching, because I think he's subscribed to my YouTube channel. I use AI to break down questions I couldn't understand or words that I came across that I didn't understand. Because it's sometimes, like I said, I come across some words in higher ed as well that it's some words I'm not understanding. Like financial aid is so complex. Like we got the financial aid specialist coming to the channel. Like and subscribe, man. We got the financial aid specialist coming tomorrow. Financial aid Friday, man. I'm gonna have that up for y'all right there. I'm gonna have that up. Financial aid Fridays, man. I'm gonna have that up. We lit. We're gonna have our letters in there too. I'm gonna put my letters in here after this live screen. It's gonna be up. So what I'm getting at right now. So yeah, I definitely used AI when I was in graduate school. Hopefully they don't revoke me for that. I don't think that's a policy. They can do that. But I kind of want my money back if they try to do that, but I don't think they're gonna do that. But I used AI myself. Honestly, I used it not on my papers, but just to get a deeper understanding of these words and these articles that I'm reading, because I am a person who likes to learn as well. And AI has opened a door, for me to learn a deeper learning. And she put it beautifully. And the professor, like I said, with them saying that the job market is changing, like I always mention that Obama said it in an interview, and he's a former president of the United States of America. So anytime that you hear somebody with that caliber of prestige, just know it's credible. And so, at least with him. So when he said that, he was like, with AI, we're not going to need coders no more, really, to code. He was like, it's going to be more like you're going to have to be like the number one, like the top 1% coder in order for me to keep a coder in my company. Why is that good? Because he's telling you where to not go and get your education, essentially. Like, you should probably be focusing on something that's like, will AI hit it? Will I be affected by AI if I do this? And that's why I keep telling people I don't understand why liberal arts is such a bad degree right now, like philosophy, liberal arts. That is where I don't agree with people, because there's going to be a high demand for communicating orally, public speaking orally, being able to know, like, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. How's your day going? I'm really checking on you. I'm genuinely caring, like the psychologist, the therapist. That's why you need a therapist so much these days. Shout out to social media, because they drove. If you got your doctoral in being a therapist, psychologist and all that, sociologist and all that, you need to thank social media, because social media has, like, studies have shown that social media creates a high rate of depression and many more of the side effects, right? And so that it's really important to understand that. That's why it's like really good to go get your education. Like, if you got your master's or doctorates, like, you winning. You're gonna have a rewarding career for the next century, probably, because people don't like talking to people. People don't like communicating no more. People are like mutes nowadays. And so that's why I feel like if you get your degree in something that's orally and like writing, demonstrating critical thinking, it separates you from the people who think they know what they're talking about, and it will catch up with them. And so, like, yeah. So that professor was hand on the head right there, and she was like, job market changing. That's the type of professor I want right there. That's the type of professor I want. And I had one of those, and I had one of those at every level of college. But at my university, though, if I lost the state, I didn't really get it, because I was like really, really online, and we didn't do online meetups. So I didn't really get to know my professors like that. But definitely at my 2-year in my graduate school, I knew my professors. And it was real. He was really curious on how the job market was looking for higher ed. He was really changing variables, like, oh, I like what you put in here. I'm gonna make sure the next class does that. And like, he'll tell us stuff like that. If he liked what somebody did in the class, he was constantly like building up on the class and like not the class, but the program, because he runs that program. So it's dope that he was doing that, and they were doing that. And I'll never forget, I don't know if nobody else did, but I put in a survey that I wanted to do more like in-person meetups. They came up with like a panel. We get to hear from our professors what's constantly going on in higher ed, what's changing. And it was like a meet and greet in higher ed. And I thought that was dope. Because, like, if we was trying to get a job at like that institution or another institution, I'm meeting my class peers who already have like director, coordinator positions and stuff, or regular advisor. Like, I'm an academic advisor, regular position. So we can all like get to meet each other, and then they trying to make a crossover. We know people, you got a network. And so hopefully somebody put an alumni group together, because I don't think we got an alumni group yet. really like that. So hopefully that happens. But I got a lot of my peers on LinkedIn. I wasn't shying away. I started adding a lot of them on LinkedIn. So they know I was definitely reaching out because I missed them. They were, we all started getting more into it at the end. That's usually how it goes. But yeah. And then they said something else. I'm going to say one more because we hit the 35. We hit the 30-minute. We 5 minutes over right now. But about the AI, before we run to Indiana, y'all can tell the lung getting better. I can spit. I'm spinning that flow now. So are we getting dumber with AI? I kind of felt like I talked about that already a little bit. So if y'all feel like that, comment, like, subscribe. Let me know in the chat. I ain't even gonna say hit the like button. Raise the like button. That's what you need to do. Raise it. Slide it up or something. And then I said this too. I said they should go back to old school format for exams. So if you have an exam and your professor, I think that's one way they can make this easier and stop giving themselves a headache. I think professors are just being a little lazy. Excuse me. I think professors are just being a little lazy with this. If you're worrying about them cheating on the exams, for example, just do what anatomy and physiology professors do. They make them test in person most of the time or do lockdown browser. And I think as a professor, honestly, y'all might have to go back. If you are a professor and you're listening to me or a teacher, you might just have to go back to the old school ways of like, if they got a test, they need to do it in person. Or you need, like, you're going to have to do some real, like, typing this out. Professors might can just chat GPT, perfect it, and then get them the test in person and just print them out. That's a win for professors because the student can't use their phone or nothing. They got to take that in person. Hey, put your phone in here. Then they going to go back to the old school trying to write it on their hand and stuff. So you might see a reversal right there. They might hate me for that because I'm giving ideas out, but that's what I would do if I was a professor because I don't want these kids like really cheating on tests and exams, man. Really don't. And so the papers would be another story, to see like, I really want mine papers. I started getting so good at papers, like writing one pagers or whatever you need me to do, writing a paragraph, 2 paragraphs, explaining like what we talked about over the semester. I had a few midterm papers in grad school. I was pretty good at them. I used to be paranoid about those when I was in K-12. If you don't know, when I was in special education, I was sped. And I used to get really nervous because, like, man, imagine being in a time and place where your paper, every time I got a paper back or a test back, no lie, man, that junk used to be like 50 or 40%, bro. Like every time. I think, and I don't know, man, I don't know how my teachers used to grade. Like that was elementary, middle school, and high school. I don't know how they used to grade. I don't know if they was grading off of like, I don't know. They wasn't grading off of am I learning. I think they was grading on right or wrong. And if you grade me on right or wrong, I'm probably gonna be wrong most of the time. Because I don't know what's your determination of being right. Everybody has a different right in life. Everybody has a different wrong in life. And so that's why I feel like learning is why we should go to college. That kind of flows. It flows. So now we're going to go to Indiana. I really hope I spell Indiana right. Y'all got to let me know when y'all play this bet. So now we're going to go to Indiana and talk about Indiana accent programs. So that is something interesting right now that's going on. We're going to pull up real quick. And remember, that's the Ohio State University president. I'm not forgetting about him. I do want to show y'all his salary. Let's see if I can find that real quick. He seemed like a genuine man, though, from the interview. He seemed really curious about his students, open to his students and stuff. I think it's in this one. Yeah, it's in this one. Oh, I think I know why. So I'm gonna look for another source, but I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. I feel like I can get it from another source if I look really hard for it. Let me see. Am I still showing my screen with y'all? Oh, I thought I was still sharing my screen with you all. Let me see. I knew my dogs are gonna have it on here. See, my real dogs, they don't charge. At least not yet. My real dogs don't charge me yet. My real dogs, I'm gonna get that information. All right. It's not that long either, which is even more beautiful. All right, so Indiana will ask low earning programs according to Chronicle Higher Education and the Inside Higher Ed. Governor Mike Braun, if I said it right, a Republican, last week signed a law requiring colleges to seek an exemption. Signed a law requiring colleges to seek an exemption for or eliminate degrees whose graduates earn less than peers with just a high school diploma. And this is an early list of degrees in jeopardy include bachelor programs in music and dance. Why is this important? Because he's a Republican, and my big bro tomorrow is going to help with so many more topics on this. My big bro in financial aid, shout out to him. He's going to help with this a lot because, hold on real quick. All right. So Big Bro gonna help a lot with this too, because he was breaking down things to me that was a lot better than like I give you the short and like in my analogy and how I see it, which works most of the time because it worked at graduate school, undergrad, and associate's degree. It worked all three times in the way I explain it, and he explains it in another way that might, I feel like, rub some people the right way. They'd be like, okay, I see. Different place, different views, different people. Sometimes we all have the same common ground on things. And I used to say that in the interview a lot before I get into this. I used to say that in the interview all the time. How they used to ask me, and I'd be like, how do you get all people? They was like, how do you get people who see things differently to see something like pretty much like get them to cooperate, even though you all disagree on something? I'm like, we found a common ground on the situation. You get to know the person and you find like what they like a lot, and you find that in a way to motivate them to get to what we all need to get things done. It's like that simple. Like you can't expect somebody to work with you if they don't like you and they don't know why they don't like you. So you have to force yourself to like, so you can't say that in interviews. Oh, I'm gonna force my way on them. You have to really like, but you really have to like really want to be around that person. Like it's plenty of people I didn't like before, and I learned to like them and see their views and understand where they're coming from. And now we're like the bestest friends. Let me go and tell you about my best friend. Right, good song, right? And so, but I still love Young Dolph, J. Cole, and them. Don't get it twisted. Key Glock and all of them. I love them all. And so, and my boy Drake. So, yeah, this is a Republican move. This has been something the Department of Education has been talking about. We're cutting programs that don't give you a great return on investment. We're cutting it. We cut it. You need to cut it. Y'all don't know nothing about that right there. That's that. I'm officially, they say I've been hearing this word called unk. I think I'm an unk. But yeah. So Indiana governor has signed into law a bill that aims to eliminate all academic programs at the state's public universities and at Ivy Tech Community College that fail a new federal earnest test. Now, like we said, Department of Education. That's when they say federal, that's what they're talking about. So Congress created the do no harm test when it passed the One Big Beautiful bill at last summer. If you was rocking with us last summer, if you was watching us, you would know that the One Big Beautiful bill at last summer, we live streamed. I wish I had a live stream like this. I would have live streamed the whole thing. It would have been beautiful. Get it? Beautiful. One Big Beautiful bill. And the test, which hasn't yet taken effect, will generally require programs to show their graduates earn more on average than high school. It will generally require programs to show their graduates earn more on average than high school diploma earners, just over $35,000 in Indiana, or else students in those programs will no longer be able to receive federal student loans. Graduate and professional program earnings would further have to exceed bachelor's degree earnings. Right? Graduate and professional program earnings would further have to exceed bachelor degree earnings. So if I got a bachelor's, like, I'll be honest with you, my associate's degree helped me get my job at V-State, as I tell you all. And my bachelor's, really, would you say that it had value and I'm using it? Yes. My bachelor's degree was so flexible. I can work for the state, federal. My job could have went any 3-letter agencies. My job could have went like anywhere, man. It's crazy. Like, you can take my bachelor's and use it anywhere. Lucrative jobs that don't pay as much. As you know, I'm in education. So obviously my salary speaks for itself if you ask what I make. But obviously it gets a lot better if I want to be a president or an executive, a VP, a dean. If I wanted to be something like that one day, my pay would jump up significantly, like overnight. It will be overnight to y'all, and y'all be like, bro, it took you 3 or 4 years to get to a dean. But yeah, like my type of degree that I got, like an MIS and higher education administration, yo, like that's gonna age with wine right there. Like, I did so much work in researching and higher ed that, man, if I really want to stay in the traditional settings of higher ed, it'd be hard to contain me. I'll be going from one job to the next. I'll be like freaking Kawhi Leonard in the market. I'm going wherever I feel like. So, but Indiana Senate Bill 199 will be failing. No, but Indiana Senate Bill 199 will make failing that test even more punitive in the Hoosier state. Forgive me, my chest. I'm working a little bit. It adopts the federal test into state law. It says programs that fail it must close entirely. So unless the State Commission for Higher Education, a group of gubernatorial appointees, grants an exemption. So it sounded like you had to get an exemption from State Commission for Higher Education, a group of gubernatorial, that's it, all right? Gubernatorial appointees, pretty much people who are in control of like you, if you get the exemption or not. The state's GOP-dominated General Assembly finished passing the legislation last month, and Republican Governor Mike Barnes signed it into law Thursday. That's today. Hold up, are they talking? This part was last week, then. Yeah, that's it. So let me see that bill, though. Usually one page takes you to the next. Let me see something right quick. United States, U.S. plans to stop funding low-earning degrees. Indiana may just end them. So, yeah. So Congress new earnings test. So Congress was open to doing this. I was just talking to Big Bro Sam, and he put me on game. Like, he put me on game saying that the new earnings, everything has to go. We have to run through Congress on stuff. And so I need him to give me a crash course on that stuff too. So when I don't have him, I'll be understanding how this process goes. But I was accurate. Sometimes it can get stuck, like the Senate, the House, and all that. So I was accurate with that when we was following the bill and stuff with the One Big Beautiful Bill and all that. So, but that's different. But from a higher ed perspective, Congress' new earnings test will stop students from receiving federal aid for some programs. A Hoosier state bill goes further, putting those degrees on the chopping block. So, yeah, but they didn't say like what programs are being cut. But if you are in a low earning program, essentially, like you said, man, I went to this college, I got this BS degree. Like that's normally what everybody says. I got this BS degree. This degree don't really, man, I'm working here and there, and this didn't even help me like advance my career. This is what they're talking about. And I know some people get caught up in Democrat, Republican, but I genuinely don't see nothing wrong with this. I think this is a good thing to have to be policing. Like, if a program is giving me a great return on investment, it does make it hard though, because if you generally got a passion for this program and you're like, it's not about the money. I generally just want to go to school for this. And I know people like that. They just want to go and learn. They go to this school, like they would get their bachelor's or master's in it and say, I don't really too much care about the money. Like this is something I can wake up and do every day. I respect that. But they're trying to cut back on money. What are they going to do with that money? I don't know. Like, because this is a federal Department of Education thing and it's trickling down to states. Like some states can put things on some, let me say this right. Federal is starting at the federal with Department of Education and trickling down to states. Now states can determine like what policies and laws, like they want to block it in a way. So you don't have to worry about that. Some states are like, oh, we running the ball with this. We support this. And then it might get down to institution really don't have a say so like the local level, because they have to report to the state level. So really in this case, it's just between the state and the federal level. So this is where it comes in. Like if you stay on the border somewhere, you can be like jump to another state maybe, and you can dodge this bullet. But it depends on what you're near, because I don't want none of you getting charged out of state tuition. That's the last thing I want you to do. And since we're coming up on our hour mark, I feel like we hit on some good topics. We did pretty good this live screen. I'm going to go ahead and just talk about the Ohio State University president's salary real quick to close out. And I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Financial Aid Fridays. All right, let me stop. Because I don't got no music. That look a little crazy, right? So remember I was talking about the Ohio State University president earlier. They said right here, I'm going to see if we can get some better proof, but as the incoming 18th president of the Ohio State University, effective March 12th, oh, he just became the president. Did he just become president? I know you're lying. Wow, that just happened. That's crazy. We literally was just researching this today. This is the Lateran. Wow. That's interesting. I need to see how Ohio gets down, because Ohio just seemed like they didn't have a normal process to pick a president. It's just they picked them, because they saying that Ohio State University hires Ravi as next president without wider candidate search. So it seemed like they just went internally and just grabbed them and said, you're going to be the president if you're open to it. Y'all can't see my screen. Like that's what it seems like. They seem like they just grabbed them because he was already working as I think a biomedical engineer, as we said before. So I wonder, does Indiana have to do a search process so they can do whatever they want? See, that's why I'd be like, it's so interesting to see how states get down. Every state is different, man. And so, but according to this is the Lantern. It's probably a local, it's probably Ohio local media outlet. So March 12th, 2020 is March 12th, 2026, which is crazy. Former President Walter Ted Carter Jr. left, and the new president Ravi Wright. Right. That's the picture I kind of showed y'all earlier, and that's the old president on the left. So the new Ohio State president, Ravi, will make nearly 30% more to start than his predecessor under a contract approved by the Board of Trustees Wednesday. So Ravi was named Ohio State's 18th president following Walter Ted Carter's Jr. unexpected resignation. Oh, hey, if my classmates are watching this live stream, y'all got some organizational theory in higher ed going on. I don't know the full story about it. I don't know the full story about what's going on at the Ohio State University, but something happened. Something happened. Could just be family, but y'all might want to look into that. That might be a good topic to do your 10, 12. Oof. I did not miss that paper, but no one to beat me up. I did not. Some of y'all, I don't think I got a 90 on that paper, actually. Oh, I don't think I did. I'm gonna go back and look. Now I want to look. So, it's right here. Y'all probably like, Henry, keep reading. So Carter stepped down over the weekend after disclosing an inappropriate relationship with an individual who was pursuing public resources, according to the previous Lantern reporting. Okay. So we don't care about the person, not y'all calling them out. How much is okay? There we go. So Carter's annual base pay was 1.1 million. Was 1.1 million. However, Ravi contract states that that's the new president right here. That's the new president. I can't highlight it, but the new president contract states that his annual base, because sometimes presidents get bonus based on enrollment numbers and all these other stipulations, and that Ravi's contract states that his annual base salary will be 1.4 million. And so both presidents were eligible to receive an annual performance award, assuming they remained in their roles through the last day of the fiscal year. The award would be equal to 30% of the annual base salary. And Carter originally annually received $50,000 as a fringe benefit. What the world is a fringe benefit? Finna Google that. Hold on, guys. Let me research that real quick. What is a fringe benefit? I'm gonna say in higher education. I never heard of a fringe benefit, but when I typed it, something with tax came up. It's weird. I'm telling you, bro. So many ways they could pay you, but they pay you one way in life. It's hilarious. So, all right. So AI overview. Not trying to go into a deep rant on this. So, and it's on here actually. So I'm actually might go to this after I click on it. So right here it says fringe benefits in higher education are non-salary compensation, often totaling 1/4 of overall pay. Crucial for recruiting and retaining faculty and staff. Key benefits include health insurance, generous retirement plans, tuition remission for employees, blah, 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 blah. So key fringe benefits in higher ed, tuition remission assistance. A major benefit allowing employees and their dependents to take courses at reduced or no cost. So does it go to the staff? Is it saying that? I'm going to do some research on that. So right here it says the raise was intended to, so he was getting 50,000, but that number increased to 75,000 in January 2026 this year, according to a letter to Carter obtained by the Lantern. The raise was intended to provide more flexibility when traveling with Linda Carter, his wife. So Ravi, the new president, will have the same 75,000 in addition to 25,000 following the first 60 days of employment. Yeah, that's what I was telling y'all. The presidents, contracts include a retention award, keeping a certain amount of students at the school, a monetary value determined by remaining in the role till the schedule end of term, as well as performance satisfactory, which is determined by the Board of Trustees. Carter would have earned a yearly $250,000 credit beginning in 2024, totaling $1.25 million. Ravi's starting credit amount is $300,000, totaling $1.5 million. Bruh, don't tell me there is no money. What is that? What is this? Oh, sleep apnea. Do not tell me that it is not money in higher education. Gee, my God, man. What in the world? So much money in higher education. So, yeah, bro made my whole salary in like less than a day. Like, he hasn't probably worked a full day yet. And he just demolished me with his credit alone. Like, $250,000 credit is crazy, bro. Like, I guess presidents, you know, they do so much. And I can't argue with that, you know? So this is why I started speaking on behalf. Bruh, like, it's something to talk about. It's, you know, it just sits there and just look at it. Like, but they're telling you not to go get a degree. Oh, you should go get a trade. You should get a trade. I just feel like you don't need a college degree. You know, you don't need a college degree to be successful. Bruh's a biomedical engineer. And now he's a president of a university. All you need, I don't think he got his doctorates. Does he have his doctorates? Because most of the universities, you need your doctorate. And they did not state he had a doctorate. Hold on. No, he don't got his doctorates. They would have called him doctor. Oh, wait. He might do. Hold on. Wait. Let me shut up. Let me research. Hold on. Well, I think they put it at the bottom so they can laugh at you when you say something. I think I'm looking now. I'm not looking at it yet. I seen PhD in here. All right. So Ravi, who trained as a bioengineer and neuroscientist through a PhD at Brown University and a postdoctoral fellowship at MIT, and joined Ohio State in January 2025. Yeah, this is not adding up. Something political was going on, institutional theory and all that. That guy just joined. He just joined Ohio State in 2025. Then you telling me already by March 2026 he's the president of the university? Something is not right about that situation. But before we even go into investigation of that, we might have to say that for next time if we just don't have a topic. So he do got his doctorates, but that's showing you guys the power of getting your doctoral, that you make millions of dollars when you are more educated in life. And so will I get my doctoral? I don't know. After doing speaking on behalf, guys, I don't think I would ever get hired as a president because I pop mine too much. I think once I do this, you know, once I keep talking like this about higher ed and showing you salaries of these presidents and stuff, I'm going to make it a lot easier for these presidents coming up. And I'm going to make it a lot harder for them at the same time, because you're going to be so educated about what's going on in higher ed. They're going to have to change the whole blueprint of how they go about higher ed. And so we're essentially building a road, like we said before we go. We're building a road, right, that like you're seeing like the real return on investment from my perspective of like why you should go to college. And then you have these other ignorant YouTube university people out here. I love YouTube, but it's a lot of people on YouTube who has college all wrong and they're just ignorant. And that's their personal vendetta with it. I don't know. So, yeah, this was one of those. This was one of those live streams, I feel like, for us. This was one of those. And tomorrow's going to be, I'm going to have that already up. So I'm going to have some work to do before I go to bed tonight. I'm going to have that live stream up for y'all ready 8:15, Financial Aid Fridays. And we don't even know what we're gonna be in there. We know what we're gonna be talking about because it's gonna be a mix of what I'm doing and how it ties into financial aid and stuff. But we'll get it going. We're gonna figure it out. So that's it really for us guys. Appreciate everybody stopping by, watching, and kicking it with us for a little bit. I know we had some people pop in. And so peace, chicken grease. See you tomorrow. Enjoy your Friday Eve. And remember that you just saved some money tonight by if you got to know what your 4-year is. Then when you find out what your 4-year is, see what articulation agreements they got with a 2-year. Then hopefully go to that 2-year, then bridge to that 4-year under that articulation agreement. Then you might run up some money like your college president. You feel me? You might run some money up like that. So peace, chicken grease, and we will see you tomorrow.